Just when Jamaica thought the shower posse era was done, one man was set to bring it back. Let me introduce you to a man named Christopher Coke, also known as Dudus. Dudus was Lester's youngest son, but he wasn't quite like the rest. He was raised away from the madness and sent to Ardeen Academy, the most prestigious school in Kingston. There, he went to school with the children of politicians and millionaires. Dudus was well regarded by the teachers at the school, who claimed he was soft-spoken and an intellectual genius. In fact, no one at the school knew that he was the son of Lester Coke, as they used his mother's last name. Well, Christopher was an engineer by trade, a man who had dreams of owning his own construction company. But he also had another dream, a dream to finish his father's legacy. He deeply wanted to bring the shower posse back and to get the JLP back into power. So in 1994, Dudus went to the Tivoli Gardens to present his idea. Everyone was on board and already revered Dudus because of who his father was. And just like that, the shower posse was now officially back. But this time around, under Dudus, they were run completely differently. He wanted them to remain low-key, that way they could make money for decades without police attention. Well, through his father's and his school connections, Christopher Coke became extremely wealthy. And just like his father, a good portion of his money went to the Tivoli community. He turned the Tivoli Gardens to the wealthiest community in Kingston, just like the 70s and 80s. Well, over the next 10 years, the shower posse were stacking their money and remaining low-key. But then he was called on by the JLP. The People's National Party had been in power since 1990, and the 2007 election was coming up. After years of PNP policies, much of Jamaica's private sector was destroyed. So as one of the wealthiest residents of Jamaica, people were looking at Dudus to save the day. So in 2006, Dudus began campaigning for the JLP's newest candidate. This would be a man named Bruce Golding, and Dudus allegedly funded his career very well. Well, his efforts worked as the JLP won their first election in 17 years. This was a new era in Jamaica, and for Dudus, he would be paid back in a very nice way. His construction company received a $32 million deal to rebuild the Tivoli Gardens. This, of course, was paid by tax dollars, ultimately making Dudus even richer. So with $32 million, Dudus could now sit back and enjoy his life. But just when he thought that he was set for life, bad news would come his way. While wiretapping his connections in New York, the FBI overheard calls with Dudus on the phone. They allegedly overheard all kinds of illicit business. So in August of 2009, the FBI officially asked the Jamaican government to turn him over to face trial in New York. Well, Bruce Golding was extra loyal to the man who allegedly funded his career. So of course he refused to turn him in, claiming that the wiretaps were illegally obtained. So now Bruce Golding had the same dilemma as Edward Sega. Do I turn in my loyal man, or do I go against the US government? For 9 months, Bruce Golding refused to turn him in. But then he finally cracked. On May 17, 2010, Golding announced that he would be turning in Christopher Coke. Ooh, the country erupted. Christopher Coke had thousands and thousands of loyal supporters, and none of them were happy. For years, he provided school, food, and jobs for entire neighborhoods. So for this reason, everyone decided to stand behind him. On May 18, 2010, the shower posse told Bruce Golding that they would not be turning over Christopher Coke. So over 10,000 shower posse members surrounded the Tivoli Gardens ready to sacrifice it all. They severely outnumbered the local authorities, so Bruce Golding backed off for a week. But then he enacted a national emergency and sent in the military. Between May 24th and May 27th, over 74 shower posse members lost their lives in front of the Tivoli Gardens. Still though, the shower posse had more men to spare, but Dudus knew that this was not a good idea. So on the night of May 27th, Dudus came up with a plan. He decided to put on a dress and large sunglasses and to try to sneak out at night. He only made it a few blocks until he passed the US Embassy, where somebody recognized him. The next day, he was extradited to New York to face trial. On June 8, 2012, he was officially sentenced to 23 years in prison. He's set to be released on January 25, 2030. Well, after turning him in, Bruce Golding lost all of his likability. So on September 5, 2011, he officially announced his resignation. However, to this day, he still denies ever communicating with Christopher Coke. And despite this blemish on his career, many consider him one of the greatest leaders in Jamaican history. But what do you guys think? If you're from Jamaica, let me know in the comments. But wait, let's get back on track to Christopher Dudus. Still to this day, Dudus is regarded as a savior in the Tivoli Gardens.
No, we don't need the police, we need Dudus, because that's where the justice lies. He's the only one who cares about the people and the citizens of Tivoli Garden. Nobody really cares. Right now, he's just disappointed. He's disappointed in the jurisdictional system. Well, the people of Tivoli Garden know that Dudus love them, and he'll always love them, and he's always in their hearts, because every time he writes, he just always give out his love to them, so they know that he will be always thinking about them. So will them. As long as nobody dies before that time, everybody here will still saying Dudus. Christopher Coke to the end. No matter what, we'll always be loyal to him.
We can sleep peaceful at night and everything. He provide everything good for the people in Tivoli Garden.
Because he's a good man. He's good for the people. Take care of the children, help them to go to school, take care of the old people. He's good for the community.
They believe that his mission was never to harm and to only get rich and to provide for his community. However, as we have seen over and over, this is never the way to do it. In the end, you'll always cause more destruction than good, whether that was your intention or not. Believe it or not, the Shower Posse is still active in Jamaica and in the US as well. However, they remain low-key and usually stay out of the news.